Hey guys, so just wanted to start this off. We're just gonna do a new little series here, just basically a guide of how to play EFT from how I look at it. And I'm just gonna be starting off at like the very basics, like right from the beginning. I'm gonna try and treat it like it's the first time I ever open the game and how I would teach someone how to play that. So yeah, from that, we're just gonna jump right into it. All right, so when you first open the game, you're going to have Escape from Tarkov, Character, Trading, and Hideout. Those are all like the menus. But the very first thing you should always do every time you open any video game is just go right into the graphic settings, especially for EFT. You have to do this, okay? So these are my graphic settings. You can just pause it now, just copy them. I'm just going to like sort of run through them here and just show you what I'm using. Make sure everything's on 0, TAA on high, that on 1 times, everything else off. Sharpness, you can adjust it for your personal preference. I have it on 0 for streaming because it makes the quality terrible if I have it up. Now, every time you join a game, you want to make sure to re-click full screen on your settings there. And always, every single time you open the game, make sure use only physical cores is clicked on, and you want to click it off and then click it back on again every single time you open EFT. Now we're just going to go into the traders. So you start off with level 1 Prapper. These are some of the ones you can unlock as you level them up. Right off the basics, you're going to use the PM pistol. And in my opinion, you should only use the PM pistol until level 5 flea market. And you can start trading and just buying stuff. Because you have to learn the map. And you don't want to start just losing a ton of money because you don't know where you're going. Another thing to do is always click on tasks. And you want to do this every couple levels and go to each trader, click on task, and accept whatever quest that you have in there, okay? This is huge just to make sure you're progressing with your traders, like also. Now, before we jump into your first raid, there's a couple links I'm going to have down in the descriptions. It's going to be for an ammo chart because each individual bullet goes through armor at different rates and also does different damage to flesh. It's very complicated, and I'm just going to have a link to the chart. And then I'm also going to have links to map overviews so that you can just bring up the map on another device or another monitor, and you can just sort of look at the map and look where you are in game and just to get a really good idea of where you are, okay? So we're going to start our raid, and as we're getting into it, you're going to see this thing called insurance. Now, when you insure an item, what happens is if you die inside the game, if no one takes your loot before the raid ends, you will get that loot back in 24 hours. But if someone loots it, you will never get that item back. So try and insure items that are sort of shitty because most players won't pick it up then, especially if you're late into a wipe because they have so much better gear, and like an $8,000 pistol just is not worth picking up. So you'll probably get this pistol back every single time. So the map we just loaded into was customs, and as you just spawn, this is where I would open up the map on a second monitor and just try and look at landmarks on the map and sort of try and figure out where you are in the map and then where you want to start heading towards. So I guess a couple tips right off the bat is I would really try to explore the map as fast as possible. And to do this, you have to play fast, which is why I would just keep bringing in just a PM pistol or even a hatchet. It's better off to bring a pistol, though, because your survival rates and like killing scavs and stuff just skyrocket with that compared to a hatchet. And I would just try and run around the map as fast as possible, because if you're hiding and you're playing very timid, it's going to take you probably 100 more runs to learn the map compared to just like 10 fast runs. Because if you're ahead of the pack, you're able to just loot things faster and everything just is so much easier. So like for customs right here, the first thing I'm going to do is I always run to the dorms because that's where most of the loot is. There's also things called stashes. Now this is something else you're going to have to Google. I don't want to overload the whole stream with a million different images popping up, flying in all over the place. You know what I mean? So just Google like custom stashes. Someone has made a map that points out all the stashes, so you can also use that. So here I'm going to get up to the dorms. Basically, you just want to loot every door, loot every jacket, just sort of figure out the game. I bypassed a couple doors at the start, but I'm trying to make this like a beginner's guide. There's also cabinets. You can just start looting these. And then you basically fill up your alpha container with loot that is worth more than what you began the raid within. So bandages being the cheapest, and painkillers, and then I believe it's the cheese. Cheese might be less than painkillers. I can't remember 100%. So there we find a light bulb. And that's essentially how you're going to loot that. So another quick tip too is when you're going into a raid, you sort of want to have an objective. And the 3 objectives I have when I go into a raid is either I'm questing, I'm PvPing, or I'm looting. So if I'm looting, I'm going to try to avoid most of the fights as possible and just try and get as much loot as I can and just get out. Same with PvP, I'm going to run to the gunshots instead. And if I'm questing, I'm going to run for whatever the hell the quest is telling me to do, right? So in here, this run, I'm trying to do a loot run. Now, just because you might go in with an objective, sometimes things just happen. And right here, I'm going to kill a player. So one thing I see a lot of players do in EFT is that they just play slow consistently from start to finish. And what I suggest a lot of new players do is play very, very fast. But if you ever hear another player, completely go to like a stop or go to like a turtle's crawl, okay? And it's basically like a stop-go mentality. Is like you go really, really fast, and anytime PvP happens, slow it right down. Think through all of your situations, and if you always hear the player first and then stop, and then they can't pinpoint where you are, or they didn't hear you, then you have all the advantage in the world. So now that we killed the player and we actually looted him, from here on I'm going to bring up the map, and basically what you do is you go on the outskirts of the map to the evac. This should happen every single time you kill a player, and then you go even more defensive than you originally were playing. Because now it's just getting out alive. You've gotten your loot. That's goal number 1. Number 2, we got to get out alive. And then, so yeah, that's basically the end of the first episode. I'm not sure if you guys want me to do it as a full raid, because there was like another 15 minutes of this raid and I killed a bunch of players. But I wasn't sure if I should add that in just to trim it down. I don't want a very long video. This is already 10 minutes or something. So yeah, if you guys have any suggestions, leave them in the comments. The next episode, we're just going to be going on to the next level of things, and I'm just going to slowly increase it from a basic level to like an expert level, essentially. So yeah, appreciate you guys watching the videos. You can follow me on Twitch at BuzzItTV. Right now I have a 1 mil ruble giveaway, and I believe it's an Epsilon case that will be given away on December 13th. You can also join my Discord. I'll be doing giveaways there just to help out new players and stuff. So yeah. Peace, guys.